with just some King of Games gameplay until we are able to get our viewer room going. I've built 5 decks following the normal rare only, and other formats listed up in the top left of the screen. So if anyone wants to play, build a deck following any of those, and I can either match it in the same format, or I will spin a wheel to determine my deck. Hopefully, the internet connection is okay. Ba-ba-ba-da-bum. So, in the meantime, we are playing King of Games. I've got my 0-gem Blue Falcon Formation deck set up. Welcome, Algerino. How are you? Oh, I should probably turn on the music. Okay, so they tribute off a curry bot, and we have 3 good enough cards, though is not doing too great. Let's go ahead and gain the 500. And so obviously the game itself is not doing great. How is it on your end? Is there a lot of buffering? Because I could definitely try to come back, just try resetting the router and whatnot. Because I suspect if it's giving me this much trouble on the gameplay side, it's probably not doing great for all of you either. Ba-ba-bum. Welcome, Spectre. How are you? I should probably move this down. Okay. We are crawling through this game. I think it probably is a good idea if we take a second after this round to try restarting. See if I can't figure out a better connection. Sometimes the router will just randomly stop. Oh wait, but it's back to green. So maybe it just needed a second. It's so hard to tell. The stream is freezing for a second. Yeah, that makes sense. Though it looks like it is starting to fix itself. I think it might have just been a rough patch. Because it had been working fine for most of the morning. And then, it stopped, like, right when I went to go set up for the stream. It got way worse. But now it looks like it might be better again. Welcome, Martone. Alright, so we are currently losing to this Beast Gear player for sure. I've queued up against the deck a few times, but this is the first I'm actually seeing. I probably need to add something to make the viewer battle part more visible. Let me add a little bit of this, and then give it a opacity. let's try that. See if that works a little bit better. Looks like it is my move. Import only means cards that you can find in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! So for example, Celtic Guardian would be a legal choice for an import only deck, whereas Triple Threat Thunder would not, as it is a Rush exclusive card. Hopefully that made sense. Oh, and I see it is kind of messing up again. We are back on red. Okay, so we can Blue Falcon. Try to turn off the Lyogon. And as long as it's not Widespread Ruin, this should be good enough to clear. Celtic Guardian attacks. So in ranked, we're currently doing just a 0-gem Blue Falcon formation deck until we're able to get things all set up. No ban list means you can use any number of cards from the limited 3 list. So Osama says it doesn't make sense. But thanks for I can go over it after this match finishes up and show you an example. Howdy, Sarah. How are you doing today? Opponent is thinking a lot, though it might also just be my connection. Presumably they are going for a tribute summon. There we go. We finally see the Lyogon, but they actually aren't able to clear out Gaia, which is pretty nice for us. Do we have to follow only one? I mean, if you're... Yeah, so you only need to do one, if you want to do that. Everyone, so we are not going to be able to clear this. Pass turn. It says we disconnected and reconnected. So I'm gonna give it, I'm gonna try resetting the internet. Give me 1 minute. Well, I'll do it after this game. But basically, we're gonna go offline for just like a minute or two to see if I can reconnect and be in a better spot. But I am gonna try to finish the duel first. 1, 2, let's go with max rate. Eventually, it should let us play the card. And there we go. We see the disconnect from my connection. I actually had a way to clear that board, which is pretty funny. So give me 1 minute. And okay, we should be back. I'm sure most people probably left because obviously there were some pretty serious issues, but we'll go ahead and try again. So, internet problems aside, let's go in to another round of 0 gem blue falcon formation into the King of Games ladder while we wait for things to hopefully work out a little bit better. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Let's refresh here as well. Alright, so opening hand, if we draw another low-level monster, we'll be able to bring out both the Tengu and Max Raider. Otherwise, we probably just go with the Mammoth and try to clear the set 3. For a turn, and we get another Aqua, but this requires it to be a normal monster to gain the life points, so unfortunately not going to be able to use either of their effects. We could keep one around as a way to handle a Yami ruler / Kime ruler on the next turn. So I think we do want to go here. We're going to bring out Max Raider and Mammoth Graveyard to try to beat over 2 of the sets. And then this also has the benefit of if they do not find a tribute monster on the next turn, we can beat over it. Welcome. How are you doing? Okay, so we could have used the skill, but they don't have any face-up monsters, so we don't see the skill activation prompt. Magic Juggler, interesting card to see. It does imply that they are on something other than Celerity, as a 1400 spellcaster shouldn't be legal. Looks like they have a King's Majesty engine going on as well. Alright, they are setting some more. But yeah, I really have no idea what kind of deck they are using. We draw for a turn, we find a Gaia, which seems pretty good. I think we bring it out as well. And then we can actually bring out the Tengu, as Harpy Lady is another trigger for the skill. And it's very unlikely for them to be able to clear all 3 of our monsters during their next turn. So we head into battle. And we'll just start swinging in. They do have some kind of trap card here, but I don't know what it could be. It might be the King's Majesty, could be a barrier. Dark Sorcerer. So I feel like this should just be some kind of aggro deck, but oh, okay, here we go. Magician Shuffle. Magician Shuffle is a deck with very few actual restrictions, so this makes sense. You can run basically anything except for 2500 attack point monsters. Here comes Dark Magician Girl. Unfortunately, is going to be able to beat over the Max Raider, but with 3 cards left in hand, they are bricking pretty badly. I think we definitely bring you down. Then, we'll bring out the Max Raider again. And follow it up with the Harpy Lady. we can use our skill, and even if they have one way to negate our attack, both Max Raider and Gaia are stronger. So let's go for it. Good morning, Rafflesia. Hope you are doing all right. What have you been up to? Alright, so they do have a recital, but do they also have King's Majesty? They do. So unfortunately, we are whiffing this turn. And that's going to give them the chance to really reestablish the board. Alright, so we do see a second Dark Magician Girl coming out. Unfortunately, this deck is only ever going to be able to clear one on any given individual turn. And with more back row, Widespread Ruin could be in our near future as well. We can try Gaia, but if it doesn't work out, we're really hoping for a... I don't know. Because we're on a 0-gem version, we can't run any barriers, which is what would normally be saving us in this type of situation. And if anyone finishes a deck for the viewer battle, just let me know and I'll go ahead and make a duel room. Alright, so we do draw a few cards we can start filtering through. Having Harpy Lady needs to go to defense mode. Then this will go here. Tribute off 2. It's 6 a.m. Wow. Are you waking up early for work, or are you just a morning person? I think I'm gonna set the Harpy Lady. The Harpy Lady is a trigger for the skill, but I do have a Triple Threat Thunder hiding somewhere in the deck. So keeping the Aqua in hand seems to make sense to me. But I could definitely see the argument for keeping that Harpy Lady around. My thought process is that if I want to actually clear the Dark Magician Girl, I'm going to need a 2500 anyway, or one of my tribute monsters. So the Harpy Lady trigger shouldn't be super relevant here. Alright, so unfortunately the Gaia does go down. But Harpy Lady will stick around, since Juggler is only a 1400. We draw for turn. Tengu is an option. It's not the strongest one, but we'll give it a shot. Let's go here. We'll just set the Mammoth Graveyard, activate our skill, weaken that, and we'll give it our best shot. They do have a barrier, so unfortunately, our Blue Falcon is going down, and we're probably going to take a ton of damage on the next turn. Winning with a 0-gem deck is going to be pretty difficult, unless my opponent bricks very hard. I could try swapping it out for the, something like the import-only deck and seeing how that goes. So with the imports, I think the best options are typically going to be something like either a Magician Shuffle list or Servant of Dawn. I could gain life here, but I'm not sure that actually does anything for me. Let's go ahead with Harpy Lady. And then we'll do Guy the Fierce Knight, and we'll try to get over the Dark Magician Girl one more time. I am obviously going to be decking out here. Oh, I hope you recover well from the surgery. Hopefully it wasn't anything too serious. Another barrier, but this time barrier is not going to be enough to stop us. We do clear Dark Magician Girl. But with only 7 cards left in deck, I don't imagine us winning in the next 3 turns, unfortunately. Monster Reincarnation probably gonna get us another Dark Magician Girl. I feel like they actually have just been reusing the same one. They shuffled it away with the barrier, used Reincarnation. I guess they did have 2 out at one point. But they're doing a great job of keeping that Dark Magician Girl active. Alright, looks like Martone has a foil only deck. I will go ahead, let them finish me off here, and I'll go make a duel room. Yeah, so the interesting thing is if you're building the import only deck for a randomized deck from this list, I agree that Magician Shuffle makes more sense. But if you're playing the import versus import, there aren't a ton of spell and trap cards that are from the original game. In fact, I don't think there are currently any imported trap cards in Duel Links. We do have cards like Negate Attack, but they aren't in the game. But anyway, let me go ahead and make a room since we have a deck ready. Duel room, create room, rush duel, and confirm. Okay, so room number is I'm sending over the room ID in case anyone needs to copy and paste it. And then I'm gonna go spin my wheel. I'll get rid of these options and see what I'm playing. It looks like I actually also landed on foil only for this first one. And yes, Dragzen, that sounds fine. Welcome, Nathan. I am having a solid morning. Probably could have used a little bit more sleep, but I am gonna manage. Here we go. I have set my deck. Not sure how well this is gonna go. Oh wait, these aren't foils. I have to swap out the Legend Spell and Trap, which I initially were running as foil. Okay, so I could go for those, or I could just go for more low levels, which probably is a better plan. Okay, show me foil. And then just some low level monster with a decent attack stat would be nice. One of you, and maybe one of you. I mean, I could do the full set of that, too. Alright. And I will go ahead and queue up as well. Good luck and have fun. Let's see what kind of cards you've pulled as foil. I think a lot of everyone, unlike the other formats like NRs, the foil deck is going to be different based for each player on their own pulls. So this one will probably have a little bit more variety than the other formats. But I do expect the decks to be a little bit weaker than usual. I'm going to start off with summoning out 2 prismatic boss monsters. We have the Side Stage Bouncer and Curse of Dragon. Let's see if Basil Mudkip is going to be able to deal with this. Multiple 2,000 attack point monsters. Welcome, Steelix. Alright, they are setting some cards. Oh, and a face down. So we do know that Widespread Ruin is not foil by default. Oh, and here comes my ultimate boss monster. I actually happen to have pulled a foil Multi-Strike Dragon Dragius. So we're going to go ahead and bring it out to try to break through the set 3. Next up is Gazelle. And I'm going to reinforce this into a Royal Rebel Growl. Let's make sure we don't forget to activate the effect before heading into the battle phase. We swing in 1. Play around with Seidel by having Dragius attack 2nd. And then we get in for 2,500. Oh, sorry about the crash, Steelix. Hopefully it recovers soon. It looks like things should be okay on my end after the restart. Alright, here comes Advanced Burst Draw. That's going to help them draw a... What will it be? A level 7 or higher normal monster. Presumably it's going to be a Gaia the Fierce Knight. Or a Max Raider. Well, no, Max Raider shouldn't be available as foil. Gonna restart the router? That's exactly what I did. I'm doing pretty well. Welcome, Necromancer. We have actually just started some viewer battles. We were doing a little bit of King of Games ranked until everyone was ready to start constructing their decks. If you want to join in, feel free. Oh, we draw another Growl. That's actually quite good. The Gargoyle is also going to help us thin our hand, as we have a ton of high-level monsters already in it. Let's go ahead and ditch Gaia before summoning out a copy of Growl. This is going to be a significant weaken on the Dark Magician and should actually secure the game unless they have something set. Let's go ahead and use the effect. This goes pretty far down. Activate Dragius. And then we contribute over 4 Curse of Dragon as well. Enter the battle phase, and we'll see how this goes. Since we got a free copy of the Volt Condor structure, do cards from that first copy count towards 0 gems? You know what? I will allow it. I hadn't thought about it when I was building my own deck, but go for it. Alright, and good game, Martin. I think everyone else is still building, so if you'd like to do a rematch, I am down. And I can spin the wheel again to go for a different deck myself. Alright, looks like it actually landed on my import deck. So I'll be doing that against who... Oh, Necromancer says they do have an R deck. Feel free to hop on in. Oh, I don't have the duel room listed up on the screen. Let me go ahead and get that code. Duel room info. Paste. And make it visible. Then we gotta move it over. Okay. And bring it up here so it's not, oh, wrong one. Ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-bum. There we go. Should be all set up now. Martin says, had 2 Yami rulers and the warrior trap, but leaving Dragias around. Oh. Yeah, if you had the ability to clear the Dragias, definitely would have been... Oh, well, with the Dark Magician, it's tough to say for sure. Since if you crash that in, you are leaving yourself open a little bit. But if you had the Yami ruler with some protection... Oh, but then the Growl would have gotten it. Yeah, definitely a tough situation. Let's see here. So I rolled import, so I need to make sure I actually have the right deck set. Looks like that's the one I have on Yuga. I will set my deck, change active character, and head on over to the duel room. Oh, looks like we have plenty of... Oh, I only have 5 members as the cap. That is my bad. Am I able to change the settings? Let's go ahead and reset the room. Because 5 members is probably not enough. So anyone who's currently in, just letting you know, I'm going to make a new one. That is my bad. Duel room. Create. And then rush duel, of course. Regulation. Let's set it to unlimited in case we have anyone show up that wants to do a no ban list run. Confirm. And let me get the new room ID. 715811. So hopefully that is set. So import only means only cards that have been imported from the TCG to Rush. So for example, if we look at this deck, you'll see Dark Magician Girl, Celtic Guardian. All of these cards exist in the regular Yu-Gi-Oh format. However, Multi-Strike Dragon Dragias is a Rush original, so that would not be allowed. So any card sharing the exact name with a card in the TCG. And yes, we have plenty of time. Via Debaha. Sorry, I completely messed that one up. No widespread ruin. So, widespread ruin is an thank you, Tomato. I completely forgot that it was an imported card. I will be adding it immediately. And Monster Reincarnation is 2. All legends should be imports. Yeah. Because Widespread Ruin is not a card that I ever used in the TCG. I always used cards like Sakuretsu Armor instead. But yes, the legend cards are legal. Oh, and my internet appears to be going down. Yes, Rafflesia. If it's a speed duel card, you can play it. How was your stream this morning, Tomato? Oh, looks like Sarah is in the room. So, gonna find out what kind of deck Sarah is playing. bum. Alright, so we are up first. And we actually do have the Dark Magician right away. We can save it for later to give us a double Dark Magician Girl board on the next turn. Actually, no, we're on Servant. So I think it might actually make more sense to go ahead and set the Dark Magician. And we'll see how it goes. Had a great time, played speed with viewers, and grinded the ranked ladder. Yeah, so, I woke up a little bit too late to go catch it, but, I think you said you were playing, it was like a Fluffle Orchest or something. So it would need to be, okay, so Cocktail, yes, skills are allowed. And Via, yes, it's any one. You only need to do one of the 4. If it was every single restriction on top of each other, I think it'd be a little difficult. Alright, so we see the 3000 attack Dark Magician Girl coming my way. But we do actually have an answer to that. And it is summoning out multiple 3000 attack Dark Magician Girls myself. Oh, Sarah might just be playing a regular deck. Or it might be one of the other rules. I don't know. I did not actually confirm with Sarah what deck she's playing. But I'm going to leave the Dark Magician Girl there and take out the 2 beasts. Because that is a ton of damage and leaves me with 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons on my field. So, Beast Gear World, it depends on which one you're going for. For example, the Beast Gear cards are all 0 gems because they're in the card trader. So if you're building a 0 gem deck, yes, you could use them. But, they are not imports, so you wouldn't be able to use it there. As an example. Let's see. I kind of don't want to break through the Dark Magician Girls, but I also don't feel like I have much of a choice. I guess we bring out Curse of Dragon and just kind of go in. Well, okay, if I wait long enough for another Tribute Monster, I might actually be... No, because I only go up to 2900. So let's swing in. Alright, and they do have a trap of some sort, which is odd. I'm trying to think what traps would be legal. Yeah, barrier. I think Sarah's just playing a regular Magician Shuffle deck. I'll just crash. Yeah, if someone wants to do a regular duel as well, that is an option. I'm totally down for whatever. I just thought the alt format stuff would be an interesting twist on the format. Alright, we see a monster reincarnation coming out. Probably gonna get access to another one of those Dark Magician Girls. There was a small chance they went for the actual Dark Magician to clear my own back row, but this is definitely the better play. I'm hanging in with 300 life points, but probably not for long. As this deck has essentially no outs to a 3000 attack monster, so I'm just gonna pass and let Sarah take this one. Unless I draw exactly Widespread Ruin, but even then, I can't deal with the Dark Magician Girls. Can we play a normal game? I would like to meme with Volt Condor. Yeah, sure thing. Cocktail, feel free to queue on in. And then if we're playing just regular games, I actually don't know what I'll bring. I guess I'll just bring this one. And then if there's anyone, I saw there was someone else in the duel room. So let me see what's going on there. Oh, Necromancer. Necromancer had a rare normal deck, if I remember correctly. So, is Deep Blue, is Deep Blue Cocktail Samurai or someone else? Well, I think Necromancer was in the room first, so I'll start with the NR game. So let's do that since they were here initially. And as always, by the way, if anyone is in the room and is just waiting around, feel free to challenge other room members and play some games. I don't want you to have to just sit there in the room forever. Alright, so good luck, Necromancer. This should be a normal rare mirror match. Presumably Necromancer is going to be on that Ancient Forces skill. Definitely the top pick for NR players. Other options include Beetle and Megalon just as a 2300 boss. That's kind of difficult to clear. I'll just go ahead and set 3 and see how it goes. We do see a Dragorite. Yep, Burning Blaze Dragon, as expected, and the Clear Ice as well. Ancient Force is going to boost them up, but not going to make a difference here, as all of my monsters are already in defense mode. Now, in hand, we do have the 2 Silver Wolf, which is going to be an out to the Clear Ice Dragon, as they can lower it down to just 1200. But we also draw a ton of tribute monsters, which is not looking great for us. We do have one level 1 in the graveyard. But that's not quite enough. If we were to... Well, okay, so we could go down to 16 and then 14. Oh, and then we actually get 3 chances to mill a card, too. So what we're going to do is go here. Really weaken that one. And then if we can mill a level 1, we can beat that with the Silver Wolf. Unfortunately, we did not reach the threshold. But it's probably still worth trading. So let's go clearing out the Clear Ice and the Burning Blaze. And now they need to find another tribute monster in order to clear the Beetle. I do take a ton of damage, unfortunately. You could have argued for summoning the Megalon, but remember that Ancient Forces would have just basically immediately overrun it. So obviously I am taking a ton of damage here, but it could be a lot worse too. Hopefully we're able to find some low levels next turn. Drawing 3 tributes was a bit of bad luck. Oh boy. Gazelle coming down, and we're gonna just forest. I know they have the beasts as well, but yeah, they have barrier. That's gonna be game. Unfortunately, we just drew all of our Megalons. So they got this one. Nice work, Necromancer. I will pass turn. And then I know Cocktail Samurai was waiting for a normal game. So I'll cue on in for that one next, assuming I'm able to figure out who they are. Cocktail, what is your in-game name? I have to assume that it's deep blue. So I'll go ahead, normalish deck against it. Bum, bum, bum. Alright, so Cocktail is indeed deep blue. So we'll go ahead and cue into that next. It looks like my internet is back to the red, but hopefully things recover quickly. Alright, so I'll cue on up. This time, not following any of the restrictions. We'll just play a regular deck. Though I should spin to know what I'm playing in the duel after this. It looks like I have another foil-only game for whoever wants to queue on up next. And we can mismatch it. So if someone has the NR deck, I can queue my foil deck against it, for example. The deck is just the level 6 Dragon Spam with Ancient Forces, which worked out. Yeah, so I think it is a pretty even matchup against the Beetle. Obviously, the Beetle itself is able to clear a Clear Ice Dragon on my turn. And then if I have Barrier, the Semegalons can actually survive against the 2600s, which is nice. But Ancient Forces is definitely the more popular pick since you get these 6 cards all capable of going above 2500, and they can be recycled. Alright, so we are up first. What do we have here? Looks like a ton of vanillas. So we're just gonna go ahead and set 3 monsters. See how it goes. Good luck. Cocktail. Alright, they are also going for a set 3. Oh, but they actually get to set 4, so really, who has the advantage now? We'll go ahead and summon out the I feel like I am opening myself up to a lot of damage here. But we're gonna bring out Dianketo. Gain the extra life points by ditching the Bubbly Elf. Then Lamoon. And summon Skull. So, knowing that we are facing a Volt Condor player, I am pretty worried that my entire board is going to be debuffed to essentially no attack. Since we already have a ton of light monsters, we are pretty vulnerable to whatever plans they have brewing. But it looks like there is a spell card face down, as no hourglasses popped up. We do have the one non-light monster on board, but we do have to worry about the Lightning Shift skill swapping it to light attribute. I think we want to go for the maximum variety of attributes if we can, so let's tribute off this Lamoon. And then we'll gain another 1000 life points to try to mitigate the damage that comes in from their counterattack. For now, we just keep on swinging. It is worth noting, these spell cards are probably part of the issue with the Volt Condor deck, since you need to be running more spells and traps so you can activate the Trick Pigeon's effect to recycle your bosses, but it also means you end up with awkward hands where you're not able to get anything out. So we do see a Lightning Bolt Condor coming out, but it was special summoned by Beast Summoner, which means the skill is not currently able to be activated. Lightning Shift requires you to normal summon the bird. I think. I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure. Looks like they might be grabbing the Luminous Parrot or maybe a second Beast Summoner. Harpy Lady for a wind attribute. Interesting. Okay, so they are just taking the Parrot and discarding it to weaken the Dianketo. Overall, this is not a particularly powerful board. They are going to be able to clear out some of my monsters, but I'm sure they wish they could have done more. Necromancer says, it continues to be the most almost good card. Yeah. That. Let's go with Currybot. Then Seahorse Carrier. Gonna get me an extra card here. Just grab ourselves a Bubbly Elf. Then we can tribute summon another Boogie Master. And the reason I did this is so that I can keep my other effect monster in hand while also using the heal from Boogie Master. So we're going to go ahead and gain 1,000 life and bring out a 1,400. We actually can use our own skill if it feels like activating. And we'll boost this. Head into battle. And now even if they have the Widespread Ruin, it's not too bad. However, I probably should have played around Barrier. As you can see here, Barrier comes in and destroys Dianketo. So that was definitely a misplay on my end. I also could have even chosen a Bubbly Elf so I could boost both monsters at the same time. But we still managed to clear the board, so it's not all bad. Deep Blue is up next. And we have only seen one of their boss monsters, and they've gone through half the deck. So I would be expecting them to find a ton of level 7 monsters in the very near future. It's even possible they end up bricking on the high level monster since they've already used Reincarnation and should have a ton left in the deck. Right, but with a Beast Summoner, that's going to make it super easy to bring out. Presumably, okay, it is Darkness Crested Hawk this time. Able to boost itself up to 3,100 as I do have a light monster on the field. Harpy Lady and, do they have another, boss? Or are they just boosting the Harpy Lady? So that does clear the board, but with a Speedy Performer left on field, it definitely feels like I have a good chance to counterattack. Let's draw for turn. And this is probably not quite what I wanted to see. But we'll do what we can. Let's Seahorse Carrier. Grab ourselves a 1,400. And then go 1 and 2. Then we can triple threat to reduce the Darkness Crested down all the way to 0. Tribute Summon over you. And then we'll just boost up with the skill. We are leaving a 700 attack point monster in return. So our board is not all that great either. But it should be good enough. Let's head into the battle phase. And let's start here. I want to take out the Darkness Crested Hawk for sure. Then Harpy Lady. And finally Speedy Performer. If they do have a card, which they shouldn't. This should be a spell card. But still good to try to play around the traps if I can. So let's see. We actually still have a few boss monsters of our own. And it's been a Ghost Cyclone, so Barrier not going to activate. I had been considering, basically what I wanted to recycle. I was leaning towards Summon Skull, but the Seahorse Carrier would have been a good choice too. So Spectre has an import deck and a zero gem deck. Gonna try the zero gems. Alright, yeah, no problem. Spectre, I rolled my wheel earlier, so I will fight the zero gem deck with my foil deck, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, the Trick Pigeon here is actually very interesting because they set cards instead of recurring the high level monster, which means they don't have another level in hand, but I guess we could have already figured that out. Let's see. How do I go for game? I've normal summoned this, which means I do get access to Disco Fever, which is nice. And I guess I Gravity Press. Try to weaken the opposing monster a little bit. We can ditch this, go here. Throw this down, and then if we use the skill, we'll actually be able to boost 2 monsters, which should be better than Tribute Summoning. As this is 4200 versus Dion Keto being a 32. So we're getting a full extra 1000 attack. I am expecting the Widespread Ruin to finally be coming down. Not too much of a surprise there. Next we play around a Recital by swinging in with the Gravity Press. So you see, this only would have been 1200, but this one is actually still swinging in for game. But they have a barrier. With 3 trap cards, they're able to stop 3 attacks and keep themselves just barely alive. And they have 8 cards in deck. I have 7. This is getting quite down to the wire. They recycled a Beast Summoner, which I absolutely agree with. We've seen basically no high-level monsters, so they're going to need those Beast Summoners to continue competing. Beast Summoner comes down, and I'm expecting another Darkness Crested Hawk or the 3rd Volt Condor. Alright, Volt Condor is here. And with 2200 attack, even without using the effect, it is able to beat over my board. But, with only 300 life points, they are also kind of in trouble. As you can see, they only have 4 cards left. I'm going to go ahead and Barrier. I would like to return, probably just the Summoned Skull. Since my idea is if I get out 2 2500s, I should be able to win. So let's go ahead and Reincarnation. And ditch the Widespread Ruin for a normal monster. Well, I should get the Seahorse Carrier, actually. Then the Carrier becomes an extra card as well. This time it is going to be the 1400. Bring out the Skull. Then Currybot. Then Dion. It is lagging just a little bit, but I think we are going to get there. With the normal summon, we're going to be able to activate our skill, and we are putting our eggs into the basket here. As we do deck out, if this does not kill for some reason, but we go in just fine. Alright, So Spectre, I think, is up next, and then Dragzen. Steelix says, when it says no gems, are we allowed to use the free cards we get at the start of the rush, like the free prismatic? I will allow it. I'm not personally using it, but as long as it didn't cost you anything, if it's from that, I will say sure. All right, I see there are plenty of people in the duel room, so I will try to get to them. I have the foil deck for the next challenge, which is versus Spectre. And then we'll do Dragzen. Oh, welcome, David. And I don't remember if I already said GG, but good game, cocktail. Alright, Spectre, whenever you are ready. Ba-ba-bum, ba-da-ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-bum. Or if Spectre's not ready, I can go to Dragzen, if you are around. Oh, no, looks like Spectre is ready to start. So, let's see what's going on here. There'll be a, 0 gems versus foils. Interesting to see how this will shake out. The foil deck does get, more access to a variety of cards. However, the 0 gem deck has probably a more dedicated game plan, as you already know what you're working with. Whereas this is kind of just whatever it is I have available. I'll go ahead and start with this. Curse of Dragon and a defense mode monster. Another weird question, but I don't remember, so chat can confirm. Did we get a free structure deck? Yes. So you do have access to 1 copy of the Volt Condor structure, but you do not have access to the Ride Across structure. Alright, Spectre is bringing out a Doriado. And we see a Yuga level up reward and gate drop. So definitely 0 gems on that as well. Fire Golem, I think, might be from the box, but it's fine. Explosion is definitely free. We take 800 from the Explosion, which actually is not a ton. I guess it worked out that we had a relatively standard-ish starting hand. We draw for turn and get some pretty interesting ones. So if we go Seahorse Carrier and Lesser Dragon, we can actually use all of our cards without using the Seahorse Carrier's effect. So I don't see a reason to recur the Vanilla 1200 when we can instead form a huge board. Let's go ahead and summon out these. And this might actually, I think this is just game. I do only own the 1 foil Dragius, but I got very lucky to draw it super early both times I've rolled this deck. So let's finish this one up and head over to Dragzen. I do need to do the picker wheel. And good game, Spectre. We can do another one once we get through the rest of the queue. Alright, it looks like this time I will be playing Imports against Dragzen. So switch back over to Yuga. And we'll see how it goes. Alright, I went ahead and sent the challenge. bum, 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 bum. Alright, so we are up first. I don't actually know which of the rules Dragzen is following, but we'll find out on our next turn. Let's go ahead and just set some cards and pass. Actually, I could bring in the Dark Magician Girl. I'll go with that. Let's get rid of Magical Ghost and bring out Dark Magician Girl. Stanford, yes, feel free to join the duel room if you have your import deck ready, and I will, and I can duel you next. I don't think there's anyone else in the queue. Spectre says, the Zero Gem Explosion deck was pretty weak with a lack of power because we don't get the big Rock Boy. Yeah, I think, missing the full meteor impact and Seven Sword Magician could make it, tough. I seem to be doing okay on my end. Steelix, well, I guess Steelix is not going to be able to hear the message if they said it's crashed. So if someone else in the Twitch chat happens to be seeing the stream, could you inform Steelix that it appears to be working? Unless it's not. We see a Dark Magician Girl, but I am going to widespread that. And that's going to leave them wide open to a counterattack. Hopefully we find some more Dark Magicians ourselves. And we do, actually. Okay, this hand is actually incredible. I don't think we could have asked for a better draw than this. We bring out Dark Magician and activate Dark Magic Attack to clear the back row. Then Feral Imp and a second Dark Magician Girl is going to end the game on turn 3. Anything is possible when you simply draw the Widespread Ruin. Good game, Dragzen. The issue is that sometimes it pauses for a bit and I don't realize that the stream has lagged behind. Yeah, I think there is inevitably some delay. Regardless of how it goes. Dragzen, if you'd like to do another one, we can. Because that was such a short one, I would give you the immediate rematch. Okay. So feel free to rejoin Dragzen, and then, oh, there you are. And then I want to do a duel with, Stanford, assuming that they get into the room by then. Otherwise, I'll rematch someone else. Oh, I need to roll the wheel for Stanford. So it looks like I will be playing, oh, it landed on the imports again. So we'll go with this one into the next round as well. Alright, we are up first. Let's go ahead and set 4. Steelix says lagged out. Hopefully, refreshing the stream does fix it. Yeah, okay. Well, is there a way I can send it to just Twitch? Okay. We draw not the best, but we will make it work. Let's go 1 and 2. Then bring out the Gazelle. We flip up Magical Ghost, and we are guaranteed to clear the board now, unless they have a trap card. battle phase and swing in. Even if they have a barrier, okay, so this must be the normal rare deck, because we're playing it clearly against a beetle. Beetles should have some trouble clearing Gaia, since it needs 6 normal monsters in order to do so. We see another thrown down card, but if they're on normals and rares, we know that they won't have any particularly threatening trap cards, as far as I can think of. But even so, I think we do just pop the dark magic attack here. I agree with you, Spectre. I think the Magician Shuffle deck is actually in a pretty good spot already. And if they get access to 1,000 Knives, it'll be quite good. Especially if they get the Warlock as another 1700 defense monster to trigger the skill. As then you just have essentially infinite access to these Dark Magicians and Dark Magician Girls. Imagine having 6 Summon Skulls in your deck. Alright, so we have a pretty powerful group of monsters on board. But the question is, how am I going to inflict damage to the opponent's life points? We are looking for them to make the first move. With 2 tributes, it would have to be like a Semegalon. But they are going for a beetle and presumably a second one as well. Or some other 1 tribute monster. I don't think they're just leaving a Draco in attack mode. Alright, we do see the double beetle. And with plenty of cards in the graveyard. Wait, okay. So what is the restriction? If they are on, like, the Dark Magician Girl is definitely a UR. But, the beetle costs gems and is not an import. Are they on foils? Oh. Wait, no. I don't think the Dark Magician Girl was foil either. So I don't know what they're running. I guess I'll just use the Dark Magic attack anyway. It was a barrier. That part makes sense. Maybe the DMG was just a, mistake. Let's see what they have going up on the next turn. I would be expecting, the beetle, of course, to be boosting up. And it is just barely bigger than Dark Magician. Arching Summoning Flute, unfortunately not going to be able to use the effect due to having another monster on field. Otherwise, that Dark Magician would become... Oh, they actually don't have their own yet. Do the trade tickets end using the card trader count as no gems? Yes, for sure. Alright, here comes another beetle. And now there'll even be an extra level 1 monster in the graveyard. Or 2. However, I do have a pretty good alternate win condition here. Which is just decking them out. Yeah, I don't need to use the trap card here. Though there is probably a Dark Magician or something hiding in the back. Let me check their graveyard. Because if they have Dark Magic attack, I kind of want to use the card. But this is fine. Okay, we dropped a couple of pretty good monsters. Let's go with Harpy Lady and Guardian. Bring in Gaia. Then Dark Magician Girl for a 2500. as Dark Magician has been sent to the graveyard. Winged Dragon is next, and we can boost it with Servant of Dawn to get over whatever card they have set, which is presumably a 0 attack monster. Swing in with Dark Magician Girl and a Gaia. Alright, and then we swing here and we can pass. I have 12 cards to their 8, so I should be able to win via deck out, even if I don't manage to inflict the remaining life points. Unless they can form a crazy comeback here. Magician Shuffle activating. Dark Magician being revealed. But that is going to boost my own Dark Magician Girl. They can inflict a bit of damage by running over one of my monsters, but it's not going to be enough. Especially since they added a Dark Magician from deck to hand, rather than the one in the graveyard. Okay, so Dark Magician getting recycled, then Dark Magic Attack, almost definitely. This is a cool combo. I like it. Steelix says done cooking. Solid. If there wasn't anyone else, I think Steelix, feel free to join on in, and we will get the next round going. But I feel like there was. Or maybe Dragzin was the person I was thinking of. Let me scroll up in the chat. Oh, Stanford. I don't think I've played against them yet. Alright, so they used the recovery force to survive the next turn. Pretty clever. Let's see if I draw an out to this. Nothing crazy. So I think it might make sense to just throw this down. And a couple of other cards too. So my thought process here is that if I just bring out a bunch of Dark Magician Girls, they aren't going to be able to clear them with their own monsters. So we can pass and try to go for the deck out. But it looks like they might be disconnecting. Usually it's me. I'm the one that's supposed to be disconnecting. But we pass. They draw the final cards of their deck. They could still have a third recovery force. But even if they do, it only puts 2 extra cards into the deck. So they'd have very few things to be able to play to inflict the remaining damage. So we'll just see what they go for. We know one of the cards is a Dark Magician, which is not particularly useful in this instance. Okay, the third Dark Magician Girl is coming out. Setting down a card, and that's going to be game. We enter the battle phase, and they do not have anything left. So I'm pretty sure Stanford has to be the Happy Holiday player, as that's the only one I don't recognize. Anyway, I just end turn, and we're good to go. That one I think was a bit more interesting. Thank you for the game, Dragzen. Sorry for the deck out. I know that can be frustrating. Oh, Stan. Okay, here we go. So I have this one, and then Steelix, you are after this one. Assuming that they are still around. If they are not, okay, no, they are. Alright, good luck, Stan. Let's see what we've got cooking up today. Alright, my opening hand is not looking perfect. I was gonna say, if we draw another low level, it's not too bad, but we do not. So I am gonna just bring out the, I guess defense mode. Well, no, there's a pretty good chance I'm playing in the mirror. So I think attack mode might actually be better. Let's see how this goes. The idea is that if they go for a Magician Shuffle play of their own, I'm going to be 2,500 to tie with their own Dark Magician girls. But they could also be on something like NR and be ready to blow me up with those big dragons. Alright, and they are on Magician Shuffle, but let's see how they play it. They actually choose to ditch the Dark Magician girl, which is correct, as now they can bring out Dark Magician as a 2,500 attack point monster and beat over my guy. Alright, looks like this is probably an import deck, which is also what I am on. I'm just using a slightly different variant of the imports, because I'm including Gaia as a way to get over these 2,500 attack point monsters. Which I think is important since we don't have access to the barrier in this deck. So being able to clear the opponent is very useful. Alright, I'm down to 3,500, but as long as we draw some low-level monsters, I can get out Gaia and beat Dark Magician. Let's see what I draw. That is rough, with only a single monster. Stan, I think you have got this one. I will just pass it over. Let's go ahead and roll the wheel to see what I'm playing against Steelix. Oh, they have another big tribute. Here comes the Gaia the Fierce Knight. Alright, looks like I'll be playing normals and rares against Steelix once Stan finishes up this game. Unfortunately, not much I could do at all here. And every time I always try to hover over the like button, but then it's just not there. Because we're not in ranked, which feels weird. I should be able to give my friends a thumbs up. Anyway, I'm setting the NR deck, and we're gonna go ahead and queue on up. Hopefully Steelix is still here. Perfect. And that was an immediate accept. I noticed Sarah has been waiting for a while in the duel room. Sarah, are you here? Because I will loop back around to you if you are. Oh, so Steelix says this did not load properly. And I did not either. So let's just try it again. Steelix, let's go ahead and re-queue. Oh. And hopefully it will connect this time. David, imports refer to cards that you can find in speed duels. So Dark Magician, for example, is a card from Yugi that was added to Rush Duels afterwards. So any card that exists in both formats is an import. Alright, I think I'm gonna bring out my Gazelle. Set down Strange Cat and activate Forest. Now my Gazelles are both at 1,700. Let's see if they can deal with that. Your move, Steelix. I am actually only running the one copy. Oh, and thank you for the follow. I accidentally put the alerts below all of this, so I actually could not read the name properly, but thank you for coming by. Oh, I can actually check over in the dashboard. Narod. However it's pronounced. Oh, a prismatic catapult KoG. And I do have that defense vision monster to get blown up by the Hitotsume giant. And it looks like, as a beast warrior, I'm in a ton of trouble, as Force is boosting their monster. Okay, I do have a plan though. Moving out the Howling Bird and the Water Magician. Then, if I am to tribute 2 monsters, 1, 2, I can summon the Beetle. I wasn't ready for Beast Gear World. I should not have activated my Forest. That's gonna be a huge, devastating loss. I'll keep this for later. Let's head into the battle phase. Swing in with this. We do manage to at least clear the monster. And Beetle will go in and take out the Fox. Perfect. Let's see if Steelix is able to string together another boss monster capable of taking out my Megalon. Yeah, congrats, Stan. We can always do a rematch later if we have space. Okay, so looks like Steelix is definitely on 0 gems, playing cards like the 1 free Torna, a bunch of card trader stuff, and the Aqua Engine. I think this is actually a pretty solid deck. I might have to try that, because previously I was on Blue Falcon formation, but it felt like I was just running a ton of terrible cards for no real reason. Whereas this Beast Gear stuff could actually be solid. Okay, so I have not a whole ton here. But I want to go with this for sure. Do we know what the set card is? I don't think so. Let's bring out the Tiger. Throw down a face down. And mill. We're just going to boost our own monsters a little bit so that we can inflict as much damage as possible. If they are on no gems, they don't have widespread, so we are safe to attack. Let's clear out the attack mode monsters and then see if this Tiger is good enough. 1500 should be good on just about anything in the game. Perfect. So we have a strong board, but all they need is a single Lyogon to turn this around. We reveal a Cure Master skill. That's going to help make up the life point deficit. And now, they even have access to a new Seahorse carrier later in the game. Trike Fox is coming down. Okay. Luckily, Catapult KoG is the easier of the 2 monsters to out. But they also have a Prima Gotarna. Oh, it's the 1 prismatic Prima Gotarna they got for free at the start of the Duel Links history. From the release celebration. That is rough. I am definitely in a ton of trouble. And is there even anything I want to do? I mean, I can summon Megalon, which isn't terrible. I could also Silver Wolf. And that would be able to debuff a little bit for me. Because I need to clear both of those monsters if I want to have any shot. So I think we go Silverwolf, and Paku. This lets me activate Silverwolf and debuff this. Then we go in with Semegalon, 1 and 2. Then we summon the Tiger. And let's use Beetle. And we should have enough in here. Let's double check how many level 1s are in the graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be 2100 if we boosted that. So unfortunately, we do have to boost this in order to clear. The most important one, of course, is the Primogatarna, as that's going to be a huge boost to them. Then we clear out the Catapult Kong. And I think we do want to Crash, as this plays around a Lyogon, blowing us up. Let's see if this is good enough to hold for one more turn. And if it is, hopefully we can then finish the game. We do only have 8 cards left in deck, so we have to be careful. Lamoon coming out, that means they do have a 2 tribute monster, presumably. Or at least something like a Torna that is going to clear through our board. Alright, Trike Fox. We only have 2 monsters on board, so Trike Fox is not able to activate the effect. And that is huge. Making them spend 2 extra cards for their boss monster really limits what they're allowed to do on any given turn. Interesting that in this format, this is a card we might want to actually be consciously playing around. Alright, here comes a Volt Condor. Oh, do they have a Water or Dark in hand? I'd be surprised. I guess Dark would be like a Catapult Kong. Oh, Dark Sorcerer. This makes sense. I see my connection has gone red. Hopefully things hold. As this has been a pretty fun stream, I don't want to end it due to the internet issues yet. I definitely do want to activate my effect, though. Steelix says, the structure that came with 3 Dark Sork, and yeah, that does help a lot. So we're going to Barrier, and I want to return a Beetle to try to boost my stuff higher on the next turn. We have about a 50-50 shot of drawing it. A little bit less. But as long as I'm able to get out some solid monsters, I should be able to beat over this Volt Condor and claim victory. Unfortunately, we don't draw a ton of useful cards here. Is it enough? 1200, huh? So that's 14, 27, and then 28. I think we would be 200 off and then lose to a tribute monster. So we have to go with setting these and just kind of getting in for 100. Since the Silverwolf, I don't have any beasts to use the effect. So we clear the 1, and we'll see how it goes. We have a Beetle left in deck thanks to our Barrier. And then do we have the 3rd Semegalon? No. So that Beetle might be our only remaining boss. Which is difficult to think about, as if they clear out this Battle Shark, I'm not sure the Beetle's going to be able to boost high enough to work. They summon out 3 monsters, all with 1400 attack. As it stands, that wouldn't be enough to do anything. But I'm not expecting that to be the end. Here comes Lyogon. And Battle Phase. Okay. We take some damage. Just 1,000 left. But our turtle survives. Which might not actually be what we want. 2 beetles showing up out of nowhere. Okay. That does change things. Let's go ahead and tribute. Then we tribute one more time. let's go ahead and activate the effect. From 1900 to 2700. That was 8. But no, this is good. I think we are going to do it. Let's go here as well. Then we normal summon the Water Magician. And we battle. This is 1100. We clear here. And then with 1400, we just barely get lethal with 1 card left in deck. Good game, Steelix. That was probably by far the closest match we've had all day. I see Spectre is in here, so let me go ahead and spin my wheel. See what we're gonna get for the next game. Alright, looks like I am back on imports. So let me go ahead and do that. I'll switch over my deck and go for another game. Exit out of deck selection. And then if Spectre is around, we will get the rematch going. I'll send over a challenge. And yeah, RG, it was definitely super close. Glad we could put on an entertaining battle for everyone watching. Alright, so I don't think they are actually here. So if anyone wants a rematch, let me know, or just hop on in to the top room and I'll fight whoever is up next, whoever joins first. And we'll get some Servant of Dawn gameplay using my import deck. Is there a way for me to set the, like, let's fight or whatever? Oh, there we go. Alright. Good luck, Stan. Hopefully I can get some revenge here. Aw, sorry you're stuck at work, Fang. Hopefully it's not too boring. Alright, we are going second, so we'll get to see what they do first. Yeah, I guess if it's not busy enough where you're not able to watch, we can try to provide some entertainment. I say that and then I have no thoughts in my brain on interesting things to say. Oh, so I actually just noticed Stan is running a 32 card deck. I wonder what the extra slots are. I feel like in these limited formats, I'm struggling to even have 30 cards that I want to put in. So seeing the 32 is pretty interesting. Also kind of surprised nobody has chosen to do no ban list yet. I always thought it would be a pretty fun format, but I guess maybe it is less interesting. Alright, so we see the Dark Magician Girl coming down. I do have a crash for that, so I guess we go for it. Because inflicting over 3,000 damage is definitely worth it. We bring in Gazelle. And then we're going to have Curse of Dragon attack Dark Magician Girl as it's a vanilla monster. And keeping our own Dark Magician Girl for later is going to be fun. Or it's going to be better. As we know they are on a Dark Magician deck as well, we want to at least force them to think about it. Though they do have 3 cards in hand. So they presumably do have a bunch of tributes. Which might mean that they are bricked. We'll see what happens when they draw for turn. If they have the Dark Magician, they can always exchange it for a 1 tribute monster and try to thin out the hand that way. If they did have other 1 tribute monsters, it might have been worth it to summon some of them out on the previous turn. Just like tributing something and then tributing the Dark Magician Girl over it. Especially if it's something like a Curse of Dragon, where it is not all that useful to have in hand. And is more just for ratio filler. Alright, we see then we curd the Dark Magician Girl that was in the graveyard. Smart choice. Keeping access to the other copies for later. Still in the deck. Oh, but they actually are ditching Dark Magician Girl itself. So they activated the skill even though they already had Dark Magician in hand. I guess they changed their mind. Bum 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 bum. Alright, we see the Celtic Guardian and Silver Wolf, or Silver Fang. So Dark Magician is coming out next, and that's going to be able to beat over my Dark Magician Girl, unfortunately. However, I do have outs to Dark Magician in my deck. If I'm able to find my own Dark Magician, or any of my Gaia the Fierce Knights, I will be able to boost above 2,500 and clear. Acting questionably here, but hopefully... hopefully things end up being okay. We see Dark Magician come out. And that's the only monster they have. Once again, not a great board. If I'm able to clear the Dark Magician, I might win on the next turn. But it does require drawing one of my 4 boss monsters. So what? It's basically, it's got to be over 50%, for sure. We find Gaia. Nice. I was worried I was going to draw that 3rd beetle, and of course it was with the 2nd beetle. Yeah, drawing the 2 beetles at the end of the game there did help out quite a lot. Oh no, the out. I drew the way to win the game, but my internet connection has given up. Oh, and Steelix says, yeah, in the last game, switching what monster got attacked could have affected the outcome, for sure. I am stunlocked. I feel bad that I'm wasting Stan's time. You can see the timer is going down, but there's just nothing I can do about it. Okay, we finally get the cards. Let's see if we're able to play it out. So the idea is that if we get these out, we contribute, summon Gazelle, and then win the game. But we only get 3 minutes in timer time. And we need to not disconnect before the end. So it's going to be down to the wire just because of that. Oh, whoops, I accidentally said no. Normal summon, tribute. 1 and 2. Then we have our skill, Servant of Dawn activates. We need to make sure we boost the right monster. Summon out this, and that should be it. Swing on in. And 1,500. And 15. And we've done it. Alright, so I'm going to take a quick water break. Good game, Stan. When we get back, we will resume with more viewer duels. So this is just going to be 1 to 2 minutes. We will be right back. If you need water or a snack, now's the time to go grab it. So we are back, and I don't think we've played against the Fallen yet. But also, Fallen, what kind of deck are you using? Because I feel like I have not seen you in the chat yet. I may have missed the message though. Let me try scrolling up. Okay, and this keeps landing on the import deck, so I am going to switch it up for whatever we play next. I'll do another spin. Alright, I've got the foils for whatever I am playing against next. Unless it's the no ban list, in which case I'd obviously be playing with no ban list myself. Let's go to here. Foil? Oh, perfect. So it'll be a foil mirror match. Let's go ahead and see how it goes. Okay, so a Roa player. So obviously during the event, you had the chance to get some foil Palace Gargoyles and Growls. So I'm expecting to see some of those making an appearance if the Fallen is on break. Alright, and it says the reconnection is successful. Hopefully it's good enough. I messed up. I forgot Giftaris was summoned. Because I got very distracted by all of the connection issues. So I'm gonna go ahead and tribute. But that was a bit of a whoopsies. We're gonna go ahead and attack, see how it goes. 1000, perfect. Wow. Another prismatic card from the box. Did you get these from just pure pack luck? Because that is impressive. I don't think I've gotten any prismatic pulls from the boxes. I have the one Dion Keto, but everything else is just a regular glossy. We do take a fair amount of damage here from the prismatic Giftarist. Luckily we cleared the Piercing Samurai, or we would be taking even more damage as it pierces. And again, sorry for the disconnect. Hopefully anyone who was watching didn't have too much disappear. Our move, and again we can't clear Giftarist. But it might be worth summoning out our monsters just to kind of establish a board. I am expecting to draw a 2 tribute eventually, but the question is whether or not the Seahorse Carrier is worth keeping around. I think so. So let's attack into the 1500s. They have another card. It can't be the widespread since that is always non-foil. But it could be a glossy barrier or even like a prismatic Phantom Bind. We do have a couple of dragons engraved, so we can't discount that. Right, they have another out, it looks like. Oh, Giftaris going up to 2800. Maybe it was just for that. You have a ton of prismatics. Wow. So they're taking 500 damage basically to deal an extra 400. Maybe it's worth it since they have the initiative. But I could have seen that going either way. And if they have a trap card, I definitely understand. Okay, so we do definitely benefit from the Seahorse Carrier because as you can see, we just drew an absolute load of tribute monsters, which is exactly what I was worried about. Let's bring out Lamoon. Then, Ancillary is probably fine to come down. The question is, do we keep 2 Growl on board? And I think so, because activating the effect is going to do way more than the 200 attack from Curse of Dragon. So let's go ahead and debuff that one. then we do it again. Oh, but maybe this wasn't actually correct. But I mean, I still like being able to reduce that to 0. I could actually make the argument to leave that defense position monster. And then it becomes justified. Okay, so we swing in for maximum damage, clearing out this Giftarist for sure. You get the full 2,000, and then we'll try to swing in as well with Gaia. So there we go. We dealt as much damage as possible. They have 2 cards in hand, which I think are both going to be low-level monsters. Otherwise, they would have brought something out last turn to beat over the other Curse of Dragon I had left lying around. And also, I managed to get rid of a ton of one tribute monsters last turn, so my draw should be looking better going into the future. And we see they have a Prismatic Phoenix Dragon, probably from the Rush Festival or one of those Rainbow Prismatic packs. That's basically the one I've been aiming for, but I never was able to pull it, unfortunately. We see Dark Magician. Of course, another Prismatic. I wonder if they have any glossy Dark Magic attack. Now, I do have a slight issue. I've gone through both of my Growl, so dealing with the Dark Magician is actually going to be pretty difficult. Especially with a hand like this. I think I just bring out Curse of Dragon. But do I bring in Gaia? I think so. I think it's the right move. Let's go 1 and 2. The issue is that they might have a Dark Magic attack set, which would be pretty rough. As clearing away my back row would make it impossible to beat Dark Magician. And of course they can also get a second level 7. Surely it's not Blue Falcon formation. I think it's just in here as an 1800 attacker. Oh, but they have the Growl, which is quite challenging for my future prospects here. I'm down to 900. I think I need to shuffle away. Well, I'm probably dead either way, because that's 4,000. Oh, that's not the one I meant to click. But it also does not matter, since this is game. Nice work, Fallen. That is... But yeah, how did you get all those Prismatics? Are those just like very lucky box pulls, or did you go in specifically to foil your cards? Either way, nice job. Alright, so I rolled foils again. So I'll go ahead and fight, I guess, Steelix. I'll just go down the line, basically. Unless Steelix is no longer around. But, nope, looks like we are queuing up just fine. So we'll see how it goes. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Alright, they are up first. The deck I'm using is called I'm Sorry. Okay, let's see how it goes. I have no idea what that could possibly mean. Also, I've rolled this wheel a billion times, and I don't think I've rolled the 0 gem deck even once. Alright, so Ancient Forces setting up. But why? I feel like that might have been a misplay. Just because I'm thinking, that if this is the normal rare deck, you're never actually using Ancient Arise Dragon's effect. So, sending the monster to the graveyard doesn't actually advance the game plan at all. It just removes tribute monsters that you're going to need to clear my stuff. I can't clear the Burning Blaze Dragon, unfortunately, so I am going to take some damage on the next round. The thought process here, though, is that by having 2 attack mode monsters, it's unlikely for them to be able to clear both of them at once. Whereas if this was in defense mode, with a Phoenix Dragon, it makes sense. But you probably could still have waited until you knew you were going to be able to use it. Are they going to use the... Oh, they can actually recycle the Phoenix Dragon as well. This is looking pretty rough. Wait, but if they are on... Phoenix Dragon is a UR. So, I don't know if this deck is following... So if it's not normal rare, it's also not 0 gem, and it's not import. Are these all foils? No. Am I just fighting a regular deck? I am confused. The Phoenix Dragon being a UR is really throwing me off. And the Draco the Titan doesn't seem to be glossy either. Anyway, the attack on that is going through just fine. Oh, and the internet appears to be having some trouble again. Oh, Steelix, if this was supposed to be no ban list, I probably should have been told in advance. But I might have just missed it. But I will do a rematch after this one, where I also bring my no ban list deck. Assuming I am able to keep the internet working. I see it is obviously doing quite poorly, given how long it's waiting to even let me try to activate this card. Hopefully, it will start working again. Welcome. You're not late necessarily. We are just having a ton of internet problems. So at some point the stream may have to end just because it is not functioning. But I definitely want to play against more people if possible. I'm trying to barrier here. It's taken me over a minute just to be able to clear, just to activate this one card. It is really thinking. Yeah, and it says I am going at 30 frames per second, so it's at the lower quality setting. I should probably summon out a couple of boss monsters. Let's bring these two. Then, tribute 1 and 2. Yeah, if they're playing, this, I'll go with that, but that's actually probably slightly worse into a Phantom Bind specifically, but it's pretty unlikely that they are running Phantom Binds. Oh, but they have the Widespread Ruin because it's the no ban list version. So I'll just pass and get rolled over real quick. Okay. So after this match, I will rematch Steelix, also using my no ban list deck. And then, I think, Joyful Rhythmic Gymnastics is going to presumably hop in, maybe. I don't know if I was reading that wrong. Oh, perfect. This should be ending the game quite quickly. I survived with 500. But I don't think I'm gonna have any outs to this. I do not, so I can just pass turn. In-game name is 0 Gems. Okay, I will do that after the rematch with Steelix. So let me change my deck up real quick. I will also be bringing a Luke deck for this one. Set, change active character, and we'll see how it goes. Steelix, here we go. And challenge. Good luck and have fun. Ba-ba-ba-bum-bum-bum. Alright, so we are up first, and our hand actually doesn't look too out of the normal. I guess we are just gonna set up our future plays. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Everything is set, and we are ready to go. Steelix, we do know, is playing Dragius from the previous game. But barring that, we should be relatively safe since Ancient Forces doesn't run a ton of board breakers outside of it. We see a Slugger coming down, and it looks like a Tribute Summon might be coming out. Burning Blaze Dragon, and then presumably they are going to set up the Ancient Arise. So they do have the power to clear the board, but we definitely are not out of it. They have a bunch of monsters, all of which would die to a Dragius, for example. So if we are able to draw well enough, we can clear. We even have a Seahorse Carrier, so we want to draw 2 high levels, which we do. And we destroyed a Kanon last turn, so let's go ahead and activate the effect of Seahorse Carrier. This is going to add the Kanon back. Then we Grace Princess and Dragius it up. 1 and 2. Let's go ahead and activate the effect, milling a card. And then we can summon out a second Seahorse Carrier, which is why Seahorse Carrier is on the limited list, and the other low levels generally are not. Being able to use multiple of them in a single turn is crazy. You can see that after we summon the Dragius, the music has changed. Because it knows how much damage we're about to get in for. Let's activate Ancient Arise. And then, we mill the third Seahorse Carrier, unfortunately. But we are about to get a huge lead. Dragius swings in and destroys 2 monsters. Ancient Arise for another 1,200 and 1,400 from the Kanon. We pass it over to Steelix, who has just 1,300 life left. They obviously can set up a big play of their own by summoning an Ancient Arise Dragon, popping Dragius, and swinging into Ancient Arise Dragon to clear my board. But if they're starting with it means they don't have a ton of resources left. And with Monster Reincarnation, they're spending 4 cards just to get a single... Like, what do they get here? The Sports Dragons are not set up. we've only seen sluggers and no pitchers. A clear ice dragon is not going to be enough. Even if they clear out Dragius, I have Ancient Ice Dragon already on board. We see the effect activate, and they are going to recycle a Sports Dragon, sure. I guess they could clear my Currybot and a Light Aqua, but they don't actually need to do that since I've already used all 3 Seahorse Carrier. They swing in for 100, but it's definitely not going to be enough. Oh, okay, they go for the 1200. No need for us to delay this. Let's just go into battle and swing. Yes, Dialect says, have some bad draws. For sure, I think Hammer Crush and Monster Reincarnation on the same turn is a huge resource drain. Right, so I know someone joined in as 0 gems. Perfect. So I'll go ahead and use my 0 gem deck as well. So by no ban list, I mean the opposite. Rather than you can't use limit 2 and limit 3 cards, it's that you're able to use any number of them. So you can run 3 Dragius, 3 Phoenix Dragon, 3 Sports Dragon Pitcher, all in the same deck. Though I think that would actually be a pretty interesting format as well, would be to have no limited cards at all. Because I'm sure basically every deck in the game uses limit 3s in some capacity. So seeing people adapt to not having them would be fun. That's definitely an idea. Alright, so we are finally doing a 0 gem match. Let's see what they bring out. Bum 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 ba 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 da bum 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 ba da bum ba ba da ba da bum bum bum. Alright, Spell Archer. That's a free card from the Volt Condor deck. So they might be on that. Oh, it's Tempest Drive. Okay. Tempest is from the card trader. But are there going to be enough high-level monsters that you can get with no gems? I'm interested to see what this deck ends up looking like. Or maybe the 0 gems gang was a lie. We'll find out. Alright, a 1 tribute set. I think we need to be careful about that being the 1700 Axel Wonder Splat. So we'll see what we get. We do have a Tengu. Which is enough to get over it. But we are going to bring out the Gaia as well. And this deck actually has a pretty good matchup into Tempest, since both of these have fairly significant defense stats. It was indeed Splat. And then this should be easy to destroy. So we know that this card is a Tempest, which can change our battle positions. But with only a 200 attack point loss, on Gaia, I'm not expecting it to be a huge deal. Gazelle coming out. That is a rare from the box, but whatever. I think. I could be wrong. Tempest Drive activating again. Boosting up to 2000. That's going to let the Torna clear Tengu. And then they get to set a Road Magic Tempest and a search for any wind monster. It is Bender Break. Which is going to be coming out now. And clearing the Gaia. I am not convinced that this deck follows any of the viewer battle rules that we set up, but it's also Tempest Drive, so I'm really not that concerned. Let's see if I can win using a 0-gem blue power formation deck against Tempest Drive, one of the weaker decks in the game. Alright, we see them sending a Tempest to the graveyard to weaken Gaia, and that's going to give them the ability to clear both monsters. I'm surprised they didn't actually choose to go for the full debuff. Maybe it's because they want to have more cards on field to be able to use Bender Break's effect on a later turn. We have this plus this, and we get to gain 500 attack. Then we can Max Raider. Blue Falcon Formation is going to provide a debuff to Torn of the Windweaver. That means Mammoth Graveyard is able to beat over it, so we don't have to play defensively. Let's head into the battle phase, destroy this Bender Break, and get in for some damage. We are actually turning the tide. Swing in and pass. We know they have one Tempest, and this time our board is a little bit more vulnerable to it for sure. So obviously another Torna would be able to out the Max Raider. But XL Wondersplat into the Tempest would do pretty similarly, as they can change the battle position of every single monster at once using Tempest. They actually drew another Tempest and are going to get a free search. What do they go for this time? Last time I think we saw a Bender Break. But if they don't have the resources, they might just go for a low-level monster. Alright, so Spell Archer added to hand. But Bender Break is not going to be able to use the effect unless they have another Spell or Trap card in hand as well. It's a really finicky card. But if they're summoning out two Spell Archers in attack mode, they have to have something. Let's see how it goes. My internet that's causing the delay. But maybe they are just thinking. Bum, 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 bum. Hopefully I did not disconnect. And I do see the frames are rapidly dropping. Okay, here we go. Seven's Road Magician. So they actually don't necessarily even need the Tempest. They can kind of just walk over it using Seven's Road Magician. So I expect they will be keeping the Spell and Traps for later. Interesting to note that they are down to 13 cards to my 20. So if enough Tornas go to the graveyard, we might be able to win. Apparently whatever message Benex sent did not load properly. Hope you're doing alrighty. Interestingly, even after the damage from this, we are going to be in the lead with life points. Oh, okay, and it has finally loaded the emo. Alright, hopefully we draw a tribute monster. Any of them would be good enough to clear Seven's Road Magician, but we do not. So we're just gonna have to set some cards and pass. I thought I saw something pop up, but I didn't read what it was. Unfortunately, I am not able to do anything. Not just in terms of I'm gonna be setting cards and passing, but I literally do not have the cards being added to my hand. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Change to defense mode. And end turn. We do know they have maybe putting a bunch of monsters in defense mode doesn't really do anything. If I had played the Celtic Guardian in attack mode, I would have been able to deal the 100 damage, which would have definitely been worth it since I knew my cards were going to be switched to attack mode anyway. At least in this case, I am forcing out the Tempest Drive. And I do have enough cards kind of set up where if I draw well next turn, I could still win. So let's see how this goes. Mystic Dealer, sure. We also need to watch out for their deck size, as 9 is not a lot. We see Splat and then Elemental Road up to 3,300. Setting a new card. Well, they are milling like crazy. 2 sets, huh? I mean, we should survive. That's only 100. And even though that's a couple thousand, the issue is if I'm going to be able to deal with the 3rd copy of Road Magic Tempest or not. We also really want to see an Aqua Monster, plus high levels. Yeah, I'm not convinced this is a winning play. But they have the Road Magic anyway, so I have to go for it. Okay. So we activate our Seahorses, and we get to recover some life, which is a good start. Then Triple Threat Thunder is going to reduce this down to 0. We can Tribute Summon. 1, 2. Normal Summon. Activate the skill. Debuff this one. And then... I mean, I guess we just swing in. Try to swing in here first. See what happens. And of course, Widespread Ruin is coming out. But that is fine. We still have plays. And the goal is just to clear the 2 high-level monsters. We do see a barrier being activated. Probably going to recycle some kind of boss, I imagine. Bender Break makes sense. Now let's clear out the 7-Zone Magician for sure. So we've done kind of what we could here. Clearing the board was very important. Otherwise, we were just going to die immediately to Road Magic Tempest, swapping all of our monsters to attack mode once again. Dragon says they are ready with a no-gem deck. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do a battle with Dragzen once this one finishes up. Beast Summoner is going to bring out that Bender Break, presumably. Oh, but I don't have any level 6 or higher monsters on my field, so Beast Summoner actually cannot use the effect. Here comes Monster Reincarnation, and that is definitely going to be a game ender. Oh, it's just a Dark Sorcerer. I guess that means they already have another Semi-Zone Magician in hand, since that's really the card I was expecting to see. Or maybe they just calculated a different lethal line, which is totally fair. Yep, okay, Splat plus Torna plus Dark Sorcerer is definitely the most damage they could provide. And they get the boost. Unfortunately, that is game. And with 2 cards left in the deck, we almost got there. All I would have needed to do is pass turn. Alright, so I'm going to spin the wheel to see what I will play against Dragzen. The wheel has landed on... It looks like it will be my own 0 gem deck. So here we go. Though I probably do want to update it at some point. Not today's stream, but if I do 0 gem deck stuff in the future, I'll definitely be playing Beast Gear instead of the Blue Falcon formation. Just to switch things up a little bit before. Good game. Alright, let's see. Load on up and see how it goes. Hopefully it is actually loading us into the game. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. For some reason, the challenge occasionally just gets zeroed out. So, here we go again. Attempt number 2. Ba-bum, bum, ba-bum, bum, ba-ba-da-ba-da-bum. Alright, so Dragzen is up first. My hand is not looking great. But this is fine. We will get there. We are at least able to bring out a boss monster. Oh, but they are bringing out one too. We see the immediate Catapult KoG and End. So presumably their hand is not looking great. We are going to be able to beat over this. We summon out our Aquas, boost up, and then Gaia comes down and triggers the Blue Falcon formation. We already had enough attack points, but this is going to be an additional 800 damage. Bring out the Mammoth Graveyard, and let's get to it. Swing in, and hit him for the 2,000 damage. Pass on over. Good luck, Dragzen. Let's see how the Beast Gears stand up to the Blue Falcon. Alright, so we see a couple of Buggy Dogs. I am expecting, of course, a big tribute summon here. Yami Ruler. Presumably that is their prismatic they got at the start of the game. Oh, but we draw the out because we are simply better Yu-Gi-Oh players. Let's bring in the Blue Falcon Tengu and debuff the opposing monster. Activate our skill. And we're good to go. The thing is, I don't actually know if they're running any 1400 defense monsters, so I'll play it safe. And it was only 900, huh? Either way, I'm glad we got in for 1200, and we bring it one step closer to victory. Alright, here comes a Gyro Jackal. Oh, and they are running the 1400. As expected, there was something here. So even if it wasn't last turn, I think I did make the right play, just getting the guaranteed damage. But of course, with these monsters in attack mode, they probably have another boss monster ready to go. Here comes Convoy Lyogon. If they had the full Beast Warrior hand, we would be in a ton of trouble. But with just this, we are going to be able to clear pretty easily. So we bring out the Mammoth Graveyard and tribute for a second Gaia to activate the skill. And that should be game. Welcome, Evan. Yes, this is a Rush Duel stream. But even if you mostly play speed, some of these categories should be relatively easy to build a deck for, such as the 0 gems. Since obviously it doesn't require any investment into Rush to build something that costs no gems. So if you wanted to do that, feel free to let me know. Alright, and good at game, Dragzen. I'm gonna roll my wheel for the next one. Dragzen, it is just because I am incredibly skilled at Yu-Gi-Oh! I rolled the zero gem deck again, so I'm gonna spin the wheel one more time. And we are on foils. So I'll switch over to foil and dual stand. Alright, and good luck. Let's see how it goes. Oh, you know, I didn't even notice until just now that Gavin's hair covers his eye in the main splash art. Alright, so I'm second, and this hand is actually pretty reasonable. Yeah, the foil only one is definitely harder. Mostly, I think I'm using cards like the card trader stuff, so I'm using the Gaia, Cursed Dragon. Oh, you can see it here. I'm actually playing it right now. These two are both, this is an event reward. This one is card trader. And then these are like normals and rares that I happen to have in glossy. But if you don't play a ton of Rush, I'd probably aim for something like the 0 gem deck, or maybe the import deck might work, since stuff like Gaia and Siren of Dawn are available to anyone. Alright, so we drew a Gaia. I think we have to go and clear the Max Raider here, so I'm going to bring out Growl. Weaken that one, and then swing over the Max Raider and the Lizard Soldier. And we pass. Been grinding for the Beast Warrior deck in Rush since the recent update. So yeah, I like the Beast Gear stuff. It's pretty free to play friendly. Obviously all the Beast Gear cards themselves are free, either from tickets or card trader. And then if you're running the Beast package, like Puck Bucket and everything, those are also rares and normals. So it's pretty affordable. It's not the best deck in the format or anything. But we almost draw the cards we need for a Triad Drago draw, but they don't have a level 7 anyway, so it's not a huge deal. I could use the Growl here, but I'm inclined to just summon it normally. And see if we are able to clear this way. I think if they are on 0 gems, they shouldn't be able to barrier me. So I get a safe swing in. Alright, so we pass turn with Gaia in hand once again. This is kind of breaking us up since we're drawing a bunch of one-tribute monsters and are opting to get rid of those instead. So let's see what they go for. Alright, so they have got Grass and Mammoth Graveyard. Definitely not sticking around with a 0 attack monster. Okay, Gaia. I think that is a trigger for formation. But we still know there's a mysterious set monster in the middle. It was indeed the Hermit. Which will be very marginally better when Shield and Sword comes out, but still not very good. We see a second Gaia the Fierce Knight, and my board is going down quite quickly. Formation for the extra 800 damage definitely makes sense. I had 2 copies of the Force Field spell, which they release more plant and insects. Yeah, the thing I was surprised that they didn't do was, the Beetle deck already runs a ton of level 1 monsters, and the Beetle itself is an insect. So I was expecting one of the 1400 defense monsters we got to be a forest boostable spell, or forest boostable type, so that way we would be able to basically build a Beetle deck with 1600 defenders. Oh, I don't have the thing. Right. I forgot that I was on the foil deck rather than my own Blue Falcon. So I'm stuck with just this Gaia and pass. I think Stan is probably going to be able to clear this one. We'll see in a moment. But there's already 35 on board. And with Blue Falcon Tengu, that is going to be game. Alright, and we see a Max Raider for the added value, I guess. I don't think it's necessary though. I'm positive there was lethal on board at some point during the turn, and now I'm not convinced they have game. Stan. If you just kept the Blue Falcon, you would have definitely had a game there. But I guess I get another turn. Not that there's much I'm able to draw. It would need to be like Dragius plus 2 low levels. Is mobile able to hook up with PC? Yes. There is crossplay available. If that was the question. Which I think it was. So I only drew 1 low level, so this hand is not going to get me there. But we can at least growl to get us into the next turn. Summon out a bouncer. And we'll get in for 1,000. Welcome, Adam. So we're doing just some viewer battles. Oh, yep. And I was just going to refer to the list in the corner. If you have any other suggestions, though, feel free to drop a comment, and I might go ahead and build a deck for it. I know someone suggested earlier, like the opposite of no ban list, where anything on a limited list is completely banned. So no limit 3s at all. And I think that one could be fun as well. All right, so that is game on board. Yeah, I definitely considered some kind of skill restriction, but I feel it's hard to quantify it. And a lot of the stuff like Rocket Draw, I could just run a relatively competent deck. Like I could play Beast Aggro and then just include a copy of the Rocket, so it's hard to like conform to the letter of the challenge, if that made sense. Good games, Dan. You definitely got me there. I guess I'll go. Oh, I need to roll the roulette and see what deck we are doing next. Oh, I got 0 gem again. Oh, someone says cooked a normal rare deck. I guess I will. Wait, what did I roll? I rolled 0 gem. Okay. So let me go do that. And then I will fight you once I do the next match with Dragzen. So I'm basically just going down the list of duel rooms, if that makes sense. Bum, ba, bum. And then Dragzen whenever you're ready. Bum, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, ba, bum. It is taking its time. Oh, and of course, it chooses not to load. Let's see if it works out this time. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. This is playable. If it lets me. I can throw down some face downs and see where that takes me. I think I will keep one in hand, but this one I will set. Bum, ba, bum. Ba, 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 da, ba. Okay. It is thinking. Also, this music is pretty good. Anyway, I will pass. I want to keep something that can trigger my skill in hand. But I also don't want to brick on a bunch of level 7 monsters, so that's why I made the play I did. And it finally decides to end the turn after many clicks. so we see oh no. We get completely rolled by Catapult KoG here. If we had just played the Gaia in attack mode, they wouldn't have been able to do anything. Which is very funny. KoG going off and getting in for 2,200. Well, we'll just have to go in harder this time. We'll make up for it. Let's bring out the Max Raider. And I think we will go all in. We're gonna summon the Tengu as well. And keeping the Tengu, I mean, it ultimately didn't matter here since we drew a Max Raider. But I think it does result in a decent looking board. All of their low level monsters are not going to be able to clear either. So they're going to need something like specifically a Lyogon. That gets the boost if they want to clear over the Max Raider, I think. Let's Blue Falcon and get in for some damage. Battle Phase and swing. Alright, and we basically have just completely turned the game around in a single turn. We've taken the life point lead, we've established multiple boss monsters, they have no cards on field, and no cards in hand. Let's see what they go for. Welcome, Alfonso David Nunez. How are you doing today? Welcome to the stream. Alright, what do we have here? Not a whole lot. I think we just summon the Guardian and try to beat over whatever they've set. Apart from a Grace Princess Kana, I wouldn't expect there to be any 1400s, so this should be a clean sweep. Oh, a Nekogile that I did not even realize was there. Because I got distracted by chat. I'm having a pretty good day myself. Mostly, I woke up and basically prepared to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So, pretty solid. I'm gonna swing over here. Because if they drew a 1400, they'd be more likely to put it next to my Celtic Guardian. See, Dragzen, you just got mind gamed. I did not fall for your trick. Playing that 1400 in front of the Celtic Guardian? How dare. You think you can get me with a trick that simple? Let's see here. Still no tribute monsters, so we battle. Swing in. And you think you can get me by switching up where you put the 1400? No, I know you're not going to put it next to the Celtic Guardian. Completely outplayed. Not that I'm actually getting anywhere in my game state. All we're doing is swinging in to a bunch of defense position monsters. Alright, and we see the concede. Good game, Dragzen. That was a fun little match. Find the 1400. Alright, so it looks like I have NR's next. So I have rolled the wheel. Looks like there is a battle going on between those two players. So if anyone else is around and wants to hop in for a game, let me know. I think the other players are probably not here. So let's go ahead and see what's going on in their match. We're gonna do a quick little spectate. Unfortunately, there's not a speed up button because I'm sure they've been playing for a while. Oh, but it does seem to go at a pretty fair pace. So it looks like Stan is on probably a 0-gem deck. Bringing out a Gaia and a Set monster. Turn number 1. Oh, we have a Set Seal the Ancients to see whatever card just got tribute set. This is quite interesting. From 0-gem Gang. Alright, we see a couple of tribute sets on 0-gem's side as well. I guess nothing really to clear that Gaia. Alright, Adam, feel free to make a, feel free to hop into the room and, what kind of deck are you going for? As long as if it's the no ban list rule, let me know, since obviously that's way higher power than the rest of these options here. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and spin my wheel and we can get into it. Alright, so we see a Max Raider coming out, destroying a Silver Wolf and a Silver Fang. Looks like a Beast Engine. So 0-gem's probably on the normal rare deck then. Oh, we see a Flavor Inspector. Was not actually expecting that. But why are they in attack mode? I think 0-gem's gang might be giving up. No. They wanted to use Triple Trio to boost their monsters. When combined with the barrier, they are actually able to keep their monsters relatively safe and are able to get rid of Max Raider, the biggest threat. Alright, we see some Megalon going in. Silver Fang and Battle Phase. Pikachu going down and Silver Fang. Oh, another Paku. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get any value out of it, but I guess it doesn't matter. Though, they probably wish they could have shuffled some cards back into the deck. With only 9 cards left, they are in trouble. How are they going to come back from this? They also can't use Triple Trio if they only have 2 monsters on board. We see a tribute set for presumably a Blue Falcon Tengu, but it could also be Hiroshima the Hermit. So Megalon, do they have any waters in hand? Innocent Lancer is going to be a piercing effect, but their deck is running very low. Even with the piercing damage from Innocent Lancer and a potential flip from Megalon on the next turn, I'm not sure they're going to be able to deal 4,000 points. We see a tribute set and then a Lizard Soldier for a second tribute set. And this is looking brutal. Innocent Lancer uses the effect and they head into battle. Clearing out the board. Where does Innocent Lancer go? Makes sense. 1,600 damage. And that Flavor Inspector probably is not going to be able to beat whatever got tribute set over there. Presumably it is a Tengu at this point. And it looks like we have actually caught up. Turn 15. Possibly the longest duel we have seen today. With only 1 card left in deck, 0-gem's gang is in a pinch. But do they have any water monsters? As a Megalon could turn this around by using its effect. We do see there is 1 Megalon in the graveyard. So there might be, just maybe, there could be another one in hand. But with Semegalon going down to just 1500, Stan has a chance to clear it out. And if there are no other water monsters in the deck, that could be all they wrote. A lone Gaia. So, we see the possibility of a barrier being activated, but they don't choose to. That's definitely gonna come back to bite them. If they were to shuffle away a Semegalon, they could have kept themselves alive for another turn, and given them a 50% chance to draw a card that outs Gaia. Then, basically, all they needed to do was crash the Semegalon into Gaia and swing with whatever other monsters they have on board, and they would have been able to clear the remaining 2,300 life points. But do they have a third Semegalon in hand right now? We see Paku Paku Chu. Let's see the tribute summon. I think if it's in attack mode, they aren't giving up yet. I think they have something. Here it comes, and it is indeed the third Semegalon. So if they already had it, they didn't need to barrier. But having the extra card in deck would have provided insurance against whatever card Stan has set. So I'm not sure but I mean, if they're playing this many, they would have decked out even with one card left in deck. So, 0 gems, 0 cards in deck. Will the Semegalon attack go through? It all comes down to the final swing. And it looks like Gaia is going. So 1,700 from both Innocent Lancers is going to be 3,400 damage to close out the game. Nice work from both of you. Alright, so I am doing a normal rare duel against Adam. So let's go with that. That was a pretty fun match to watch. Nice and long. Longest PvP duel in my life, I can imagine. Alright, so we are up first with a reasonable looking hand. Definitely just gonna throw down our face downs. No need to overcommit at this point. Ba-ba-bum-bum-bum. Alright, so Adam is on Luke, so we should probably expect to see Ancient Forces here. That is definitely the most common for the normal rare players. We do see a Clear Ice Dragon immediately, and they are on Beast Engine. Ancient Forces activating up and heading into battle. Alright, so since they drew the Clear Ice instead of the Burning Blaze, we are actually going to be able to clear. So let's go with, I think we actually want to go like this, and bring in the Semegalon. As both of these monsters are already above 1,600, they can clear anything. So when we bring in Silverwolf, that's the one we need to boost up with Beetle. Let's use Beetle's effect, and now it's at 1,600 as well. They don't have any trap cards set, so we are good to clear this entire board. We've generated a fair amount of momentum just by being the player that goes first. It let us get a couple of extra cards in our hand and inflict damage, whereas they were just bouncing off of defense mode monsters. Let's see if we're able to hold on to it though, with 5 fresh new cards, or I suppose 4 of them, plus 1 card that they had at the end of the last turn. They can obviously make some huge pushes if they bring out Burning Blaze Dragons. But with both Beetle and Semegalon on board, they're going to need 2 good monsters if they want to clear everything. Let's see how it goes. if you don't want to spend too much on Rush, you can build the Beetle King deck. Yeah, welcome Ludwig. Hope you're having a good day. Alright, there's nothing really I want to shuffle in, so I think we turn off the auto. And the Beetle deck, I think, can definitely still hit King of Games. It's not probably as good as it was in the previous format, but it's not bad either. Okay, so we have a couple options. We can either bring out the other Silver Wolf and do some big debuffs, or we can go for a double Beetle turn. Both seem pretty fun. But I think the double Beetle is going to be more of a boost, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4 level 1s in the graveyard. And we can stack them. So we go like this. Oh, and we even mill another level 1. So it all works out. So like that, we are all good to go. 2,700 into the 18. And surprisingly, the set card did not appear to be a barrier. So let's go ahead and clear out the board and see how it goes. I'd say we have a pretty solid lead, but it's definitely not over yet. Another Burning Blaze Dragon, and my 2 Silver Wolves aren't able to clear those. And they say Blue Falcon is even cheaper and probably more consistent. So yeah, Blue Falcon is also a solid deck. Obviously, Beetle can't be done for 0 gems, as it does come in the box. But I wouldn't really knock either of the decks too much. Let's go with Beetle. Boost up the Beetle some more. 27. And then we bring out some Megalon. And the Tiger. And we'll just try to get in. Alright, looks like they did find themselves a... Oh, it's actually triple trio. But that is fine. We are able to keep this one alive. Luckily, we were able to boost high enough with the Beetle that the triple trio doesn't end up losing us the game. At least not quite yet. We do have to pay more attention to it now, though. If you know how to reduce your hand or send your monster to hand or graveyard, your Beetle King deck will be a good beat stick. Yeah, the Beetle is putting in some work here for sure, but I do have to pay attention that all this discarding has been leaving me with not too many cards left in deck. We see they are actually on a copy of Forest to supplement the Beast, but they probably haven't played it because we're also running cards like the Beetle, which would benefit. Oh, they debuff my Beetle by 200. Are they gonna go in with Dragorite? I feel like that would be pretty interesting. Notably, Dragorite is not level 3, so I'm pretty sure Triple Trio would not work at the current time. Alright, here comes Burning Blaze Dragon. And Ancient Forces boosted up all the way to 2800, able to easily clear any of the monsters on my board. Here comes Darkness Approaches. Not a card I was expecting. And we actually see them discard 2 pretty strong cards. Very interesting. Unfortunately, not much we can do about that one. We are going to take the 1300 for sure. And it looks like they are probably not going to swing in with the Silver Wolf, which is fair. Let's just go ahead and set. I'm not expecting them to have much in the way of piercing damage. So let's see. We've lost 3 beetles and 2 sharks. So how are we surviving? So they probably have a barrier of their own. Obviously drawing a tribute monster would be nice, but I'm not sure how many of those we have is the thing. Do I want to Silver Wolf here? I don't really want to ditch too many cards. Maybe I should have used my barrier last turn. I think we'll just go like this. We still survive an extra turn this way. And we can presumably clear out one of the monsters. Even if they barrier. Though, that does give them a card, and now we're in a lot of trouble. Yeah, I probably should have gone ahead and shuffled a card back into my deck, so I wouldn't have drawn as much on the next turn. Rightful Magic. What about it? So I have to barrier here, just to get more cards into the deck. I'm gonna pick the beetle. And then, we draw 3. We can Paku. Let's return another Paku to the deck. We'll grab a Gazelle. Mill. Boost ourselves up a little bit. How many of their bosses have they gone through? 1 Clear Ice, 2 Clear Ice, and only 1 Burning. I'm expecting this to end very poorly for us. Unfortunately, I think this is the best we can do. Let's just clear that out and end. Pretty sure Adam has got this. No, I do not have Rightful Magic. Is that not an SR? I could have sworn it was. Yeah, so Rightful Magic is an SR, so I wouldn't be able to run it in this one. Alright, we see a set, but presumably there is going to be a tribute set as well. I guess I could have just not summoned the Gazelle, and that would have given me 1 more turn. Which would have actually been really nice, because I would have then been able to mill with the beetle. But they have got me. Unless I'm able to somehow win in this turn. So let's go ahead and play our cards down. Forest, Gazelle, and we can try swinging in here. And we get Adam all the way down to just 200 life. But it's not enough. I draw for turn and have no cards remaining. Super close. Definitely my mistake. Let's see. I will roll for the next game. And we get foils only. So I'll be switching up my deck before we head into the next room. Foils, set this one up, and let's move down the list. I see Stan, so I'll fight Stan next. Yeah, it was definitely a good game. I think if I had played it a little bit better, I probably could have come out on top. So I don't feel bad about losing, since I'm pretty sure it was my mistake. Okay. We are up first. Let's go like this. I think we do summon this out just because we have a bunch of other things as well. There are a ton of tribute monsters in the deck, is what I'm trying to say. So holding on to something like a Curse of Dragon is really likely to make me brick. So this seems like a reasonable start. And we'll see how it goes. Bum, bum, ba, 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 bum. Alright, we see Magician Shuffle activating off right away. And that means they are going to be getting those big 2500 Dark Magician girls. Will be difficult to deal with. For sure. Right, here comes Dark Magician to clear Curse of Dragon. And they have the other two low levels with pretty solid attack stats. Oh, okay, and a Curse of Dragon as well. Definitely don't regret putting these in defense mode. Development and R is you barely return your monsters to your deck like the normal format. Yeah, so you still have the barrier, Pocket Pikachu. I don't mind it all that much, I don't think. I'll barrier here and get rid of the Triad Drago. I don't think I'm actually running any psychics that are not like side bouncer. So I'm good to just tribute without paying the 500. Then we can get out another tribute monster as well. Mill one with Dragius. And a battle. Swing in. Swing in. And then I guess we trade. And a pass turn. In this format, can you use legend monsters? It depends which format you are building your deck for. I don't think any of the legends are normal or rare, but some of them do come in prismatic. I believe Red Eyes and Dark Magician are free, whereas some Skull cost gems. All of them would definitely fall under the import rule, and none of them are banned. So yeah, if you're building a 0 gem or import deck or foil, you'd have some options available for you. Alright, so we see them starting with a set monster, which it might mean that they don't have anything to beat the Gaia, but some people do like to set their monsters before tribute summoning, so we can't be sure. Okay, we see a tribute set. I'm going to assume that that is Axel Wondersplat. Interesting draws. I guess we go here. Then we'll bring out the Lamoon, just to see if we're able to clear the board. Try to get some pressure. Oh, they have something. What could it be? I'm trying to think what traps are, oh, it's a widespread ruin. Yikes. So, I might be losing a Gaia here. Oh, it's Call of the Earthbound. Which, yeah, that definitely is a card in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! So if they wanted me to redirect the attack from that, I'm gonna go ahead and swing into it. But I might need to update my own import deck. I always forget that this is a speed card as well, because nobody ever uses it in there. And it's not like super recognizable the same way that monsters are. Bum, bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, 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 bum. Right, so we see 8 Gaia the Fierce Knight. But if that's only able to trade, I definitely don't mind. And then they have a few bits of damage here as well. Okay, very funny. The double Gaia. Swinging in for 1100. That part makes sense, for sure. But do they choose to trade one off? They do. I don't know if I'm going to try to punish that and get in for a ton of damage. Obviously, drawing Dragius would just be game. But instead, it looks like we're going Triad Drago, Dragorite, and then I could try to draw, but that seems excessive. So let's go with the Curse of Dragon, and then Royal Rebel's Growl. This is a level 5 monster, so we can go ahead and activate the effect, getting that 1400 debuff. Swing in with our Gaia, and then swing in one more time, bring them down to just 1700. That is going to be exactly, or I'm sorry, 100 more than lethal. But it definitely was a close one. So let me go ahead and roll the wheel. Or spin the wheel, I suppose is the right term. We're going with 0 gems. So I'll switch over to that and queue up against whoever is next. Set my character up and looks like 0 Gems Gang is back again. And then I think if everyone has gotten a chance to play, we are possibly gonna call it soon. Oh, thank you for the follow, Shinyo. Feel free to build a deck if you'd like. Okay, looks like they may not actually be around. So, is there anyone else that wanted to go for a round? We might be finishing up the stream in a bit. I think just about everyone has gotten a chance that wanted to. But if there's any stragglers, definitely let me know. I'll give it a minute before we call it a day. Let me go see if anyone is over on Twitch that might be worth a rating. Duel Links. And then, not seeing any Rush Duelers. So in that case, I think we are gonna go ahead and call it a stream. Clocking in just under 3.5 hours. Thank you everyone who came